Okay, so college football breakdown here. How about Alabama, national champions, really a dominant year for them. Let's talk about what they were able to do well on offense, because their offense was just completely dominant all game. So we'll start off with this play. I love this play. They were so creative offensively, I thought, and a lot of people were blaming Ohio State's defense. I will too later on in this video, but we got to give credit to the creative, I thought, creative offensive plays. This one was probably the best. So first things first, they're going up against a cover two man play right here, and what's interesting about this is Devonta Smith, who had an incredible game. Unfortunately, he got hurt, wasn't able to finish it. That definitely sucks, but he was incredible, and I thought that the game plan to get him involved was incredible. None bigger than this play, where he's going to start off in motion to his right, so obviously, as the defensive player who's in charge of covering him, he's going to follow him in that direction. But what's interesting about this is typically when you go in motion like this, it's because the player who's covering you is now going to have a lot of traffic to run through to get to that side of the field. He's going to have to run to the right or to his left, but to the offense's right, and that's just going to be a difficult thing to get around, and so he's going to have to really hustle to make sure he can get there. Jones takes the snap, he fakes a handoff, but look at what you're going to see Smith do right here. Watch how he cuts back, and he's actually not going in that direction. But what's interesting about this is now look at Seven, the guy who's supposed to be covering him. He's completely trying to get over there. He's completely stopped looking at Smith, which on one hand is kind of understandable because he's just trying to get over there. It's not too easy to do that. But this is just a creative play call by Alabama. I wonder if they saw something on tape and saw, hey, sometimes these guys put their heads down when they're trying to get through, so let's use that to our advantage. And that's what they did. And now the only player to Mac Jones is left that could really make a tackle on Smith would be the safety who is already in the game in that area. But that's just going to be difficult to do because, again, it's not like it's his job to cover Smith. Jones is going to easily make this throw, and Smith, I mean, he's going to score a touchdown on that one 10 out of 10 times. I like his teammates already celebrating before he's in. Really good play design more than anything, and good job at executing it by Alabama. Okay, let's talk about this play now. I want to criticize Ohio State a little bit. I'm not going to kill them for it, but they definitely had some plays that where I was just like, what are they doing right here? So they're in a cover 3 zone, and really, so I've circled Smith's route. Devonta Smith, he's the guy that you should be making sure you keep a conscious effort on covering if you're Ohio State. And the way this concept works, they're trying to go deep here. I mean, just think about it, logically, there's 4 players who are running deep. It's a cover 3 zone, so only 3 defensive players are in charge of going deep. And so the hope is that someone will get open. And now you have a receiver to Jones's right who's going to run a route that'll basically just get the left corner out of position, and that's the defense's left, so Alabama's right. And then you have Smith running deep over the middle, and typically this would just take away the safety. That's kind of what they're expecting. You see the safety is already cheating over to Jones's right. He's on to hash marks, which the ball is getting snapped on the hash marks, so that's why. But he has plenty of time to move over, and obviously you have to keep a conscious effort on Smith. He's the guy you can't let beat you. And so then all the way to Jones's left, there's a couple receivers running routes. One of those two would probably get open past the linebackers. You might have to have a linebacker or defensive back try to run deep who is supposed to cover over the middle to cover that up. But that's still best case scenario given the concept and given the coverage you're in. So Jones takes the snap, runs a quick play action, but now you notice really, I kind of wonder if this was intentional. It looks like Jones is looking to his left, and that gets the safety, who I think was looking at Jones, over in that direction. Now the safety is going to try to cheat over and try to cover something up. But the reality is, I don't care what the situation is. There is no situation where a safety should be leaving Smith completely open, and that's what's happening right here. I mean, Smith could easily get open. There's a linebacker who, to his credit, read this play pretty well. He noticed what was going on, and he's trying to stay deep with Smith, which I think is, commendable. But at the end of the day, it's not a good situation to have him be the guy who's trying to cover Smith. As you see, Smith is going to be able to easily get open, and that's just too easy for Alabama. Again, you got to give credit to Alabama because they have the talent where they can make these things look easy. But at the same time, it is also fair to criticize Ohio State to some degree and say, like, listen, that safety can't be doing that. That's a benchable offense in my opinion. You have to make sure you're covering 6 at all costs. 6 cannot beat you, and 6 absolutely beat Ohio State. One more Devonta Smith play is going to be this one. It's going to be a cover 3 zone. That's what Ohio State is in. And Smith is running a go route, which is pretty good against this type of coverage because keep in mind where the cornerback is who's going to be covering deep to Alabama's right. he's gonna stay deep. But right now, he's currently playing press coverage against Smith, so that's obviously a good situation. Now, there is a safety in this game, and the safety probably should be cheating over to Smith, and he kind of is. You see him, he is a bit over in that direction, but the reality is this isn't a straight-up double team. He's just cheating over in that direction. So Alabama takes the snap, and you're going to notice that, I mean, this is just, again, too easy. Smith is so talented, he can easily blow by any of these Ohio State defensive backs, and the safety isn't far enough over at this point to really make a difference. Now, even if he started breaking over the second the ball was thrown, there would still be a window, but you could have at least made that window a bit tighter. But again, part of it is, like, we can criticize the defense all you want, but at the end of the day, the players have to make plays, and no one could cover Smith. Smith was just uncoverable, so it's really hard to blame them too much when you're just going up against someone who's better than you. And also, watch this perfect throw from Mac Jones. So even if it was good coverage, I just don't know if that would have changed anything, because it was a great throw in a great route, and that's just kind of what they were able to do to Ohio State. Was just, again, talent wins out. It really does. But they also put their players in a position to succeed, and this one is an example of that, where a few things to look at here. So first things first, this is going to be a cover 3 zone. And for Ohio State, I've circled 2 players. Those are the 2 players who are in charge of covering all the way to the left of Mac Jones. That's where they're in charge of covering. But what's interesting about this play is it's going to be a play action, and that's going to really fool the player who I've circled in white. He's going to totally bite on the play action. So he's in charge of covering the flat to Jones's left, which is the shallow part of the field, and he's going to get fooled on this pretty heavily. But also, the player who I've circled in yellow, there was a receiver lined up in that area, but now he's in motion to the right, and because of that, he's kind of saying, okay, my job is to cover deep and to make sure I cover anybody in this area, but with no receiver in that area, there's not really a reason to worry about that too much, so he's going over to the middle, which is fine if you know that your teammate is going to cover a potential halfback flat route right here. But watch number 5 and watch how he just breaks in. And I think he was expecting a run. He immediately goes to Jones, though, once he realizes it isn't. Maybe he just saw something and figured, hey, I can get a straight shot to Jones. This is all fine in a vacuum, but the problem is they're just not on the same page right here. They need to know either I'm going to stay there in case there's a flat route or you are. They have to know that, and that's kind of a communication breakdown by Ohio State, I thought. But again, you got to give credit to Alabama. We can criticize Ohio State all we want, but Alabama is putting their teammates in positions to succeed. They, again, probably knew there was a chance something like this could happen with a flat route right there, and it's a good decision to have no eligible receivers on one side of the field, but to have that flat route open where Jones can make this play. Jones makes this throw, and we're also just going to see a great job by Harris in open space, making a couple guys miss. Again, you could also argue bad tackling by Ohio State. I think that's fair. They should have made sure they kept Harris closer. You use the sideline as a teammate. Force him out of the sideline. Don't let him beat you to the inside. But again, that's Harris, and he's really good at making the guys miss like that. So again, we can criticize all we want, but at the end of the day, it's still just good play by Alabama and putting their players in positions to succeed. And let's give the run blocking some love. I thought their run blocking was great. I'm going to give a shout out to Alex Leatherwood right here. He's going to be the left tackle on this play. He's going to make an incredible block. He really is. That's the block right there. And watch what he's going to do. He's trying to clear up a running lane for Harris to run through. That's his job. But watch him just move that player over to where, at this point, this is just way too easy. I mean, I could have scored on that, and I'm very slow. So the fact that, obviously Harris is going to score on that, it's just too easy of a situation, but it's great run blocking, and that's what it came down to. So it feels easy, but it's not. It's just, the guys up front doing their job to make things easier for the guys behind them, and that's, good football at its finest. Harris is able to walk in for a touchdown. So yeah, I mean, incredible offensive day for Alabama. This was a dominant season for them as a whole. They earned a national championship, no denying that. Yeah, fun game, fun performance. That's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.